Picture this. It's January 8th, 2026. Deep in the South China Sea, a 97,000-ton city of steel, the USS Abraham Lincoln, is running live fire drills. It's just another day of operations, until it's not. A secure line rings on the bridge. The mission changes. The new destination? The Persian Gulf. And the order is simple. Now. So what could possibly be so urgent? Why would you pull one of America's most powerful military assets out of the Pacific and send it full steam ahead to one of the most volatile places on Earth? This isn't just a change of plans. It's a strategic message being sent at over 30 knots. Okay, so to really get our heads around this high-stakes move, here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll look at why this specific carrier got the call. Then we'll dissect the incredible power of the strike group it leads. After that, we'll zoom out to the geopolitical chessboard it's sailing right into. And finally, we're going to decode the powerful unspoken message being sent across the world's oceans. So why the Lincoln? I mean, the US Navy has 11 of these behemoths. Why this ship at this time? Well, the answer isn't just about raw firepower. It's about a very specific mix of combat experience, cutting-edge tech, and sheer proven endurance that makes it the perfect tool for this job. You see, the USS Abraham Lincoln isn't just another carrier. It's a hardened veteran. Its motto, "Shall not perish," isn't just for show. It's been earned. This ship holds the modern record for endurance, spending 295 straight days at sea without a single port call, all while staying 100% combat ready. But the real kicker, what makes it perfect for this mission, is its crew. They are one of the very few who have recent, real-world experience shooting down hostile ballistic missiles in combat. They don't just train for it, they've done it. They know what real incoming fire looks like, and that's an experience you just can't get in a simulator.
And this is really interesting. Between 2013 and 2017, the Lincoln went through a massive 4-year, $3 billion rebuild. I mean, they literally cut the ship open, pulled out its nuclear cores, and ripped out every single outdated system. It was rebuilt from the inside out with new reactors, miles of fiber optics, and something absolutely crucial for this mission: the technology to not just accommodate, but to fully optimize the most advanced stealth fighter in the naval arsenal, the F-35C. Now, when we say fifth generation, we're not just talking about being stealthy. We're talking about networked sensors, advanced data links, a complete ability to see and manage the battlefield in a way older jets just can't. This refit basically turned a fourth-generation hull into a fifth-generation warship. So with this uniquely capable carrier at its heart, let's look at how the rest of the group builds out an incredible fighting force. Right. An aircraft carrier never, ever sails alone. It's the heart of what's called a carrier strike group, a self-contained, sovereign piece of American territory that can project overwhelming power anywhere in the world without needing permission to use foreign bases. Think about it like this. Just on the carrier itself, there's a crew of over 5,000 sailors and aviators. That's a small city, powered by 2 nuclear reactors that give it practically unlimited range. This means it can cross thousands of miles in just a few days and never has to slow down or stop for fuel. And sitting on its 4.5-acre flight deck, that's where you'll find Carrier Air Wing 9, a force of more than 75 of the most advanced aircraft ever built. It's a fist of air power that can reach hundreds of miles inland from anywhere in the ocean. This air wing is like a perfectly coordinated team. You've got the F-35C stealth fighters. They're the ghosts, designed to slip through enemy defenses completely undetected. Then you have the FA-18 Super Hornets, and they bring the raw, overwhelming firepower. The EA-18G Growlers, they're the electronic warfare specialists. Their entire job is to blind and deafen the enemy by jamming all their radar and communications. And watching over all of it is the E-2D Hawkeye, basically the eyes of the fleet, managing the entire airspace from above. So, with an asset this valuable, how do you protect the carrier itself? Well, that's the job of its escorts, usually about 3 Arleigh Burke-class destroyers. And these ships are not just bodyguards, they are incredibly powerful warships in their own right, and they're all linked together by the Aegis combat system. This shield is both offensive and defensive. Together, these destroyers have nearly 300 missile cells, packed with everything from long-range Tomahawk cruise missiles to missile interceptors that can literally hit a bullet with another bullet. But here's the brilliant part. Through a system called cooperative engagement capability, they all work as one. It's like they share a brain. One ship can use its radar to guide a missile fired from a completely different ship, creating this 360-degree overlapping bubble that can take on dozens of threats all at the same time.
Okay, so we have this unbelievable military force. The big question is, why sprint it to the Middle East right now? The context here is everything. This didn't happen in a vacuum. It was a direct response to a situation that was getting worse by the day, and one of the most direct threats issued in years. In early January 2026, Iran made it crystal clear. If the United States crosses certain red lines, the response won't be small or symbolic. They said it would trigger a full-scale war that could pull in the entire region. Almost immediately, Washington's answer came not in speeches, but in the silent movement of warships. The whole situation pivots around the Strait of Hormuz, a tiny choke point that's only 21 miles wide at its narrowest. This little sliver of water is arguably the most critical artery for the entire global economy. Roughly 20% of the world's daily oil consumption has to pass right through it. Now, for decades, Iran's entire military strategy has been built around turning this choke point into a death trap. It's a strategy called anti-access/area denial, or A2/AD for short. The goal is simple. Use a layered defense of mines, swarms of small, fast boats, and thousands of hidden missiles to make the cost of forcing that strait way too high for any navy to bear. So the crucial question is, how does the arrival of the USS Abraham Lincoln and its high-tech air wing completely flip that script?
This brings us to the central dilemma of this whole situation. When you move a force this powerful into a place this tense, are you preventing a war by showing overwhelming strength, or are you actually risking starting one through a miscalculation? It is a very, very fine line.
I mean, it's a razor's edge, right? On one hand, the deployment is a classic deterrence move. It's a clear signal of capability meant to convince an adversary that aggression just isn't worth the price. But from their perspective, it could look like a provocation. It could look like the U.S. is gathering forces for a first strike, which might just force them to act first. And this right here illustrates the new reality perfectly. Iran has some very sophisticated radars designed to spot stealth aircraft, but just detecting something isn't the same as being able to shoot at it. The moment they try to hand that data off to a missile launcher, the EA-18G Growlers jam the link, blinding them. At the exact same time, the F-35C, flying silently, uses those very radar emissions to pinpoint the launcher's location. The hunter becomes the hunted. It's not about being invisible, it's about systematically taking apart the enemy's ability to fight back before they even know what's happening. And this brings us to the final and maybe the most fascinating piece of this whole puzzle. You see, the most critical part of this entire deployment wasn't a secret at all. In fact, its success depended on it being seen by the right people at exactly the right time. As the strike group made its long journey, its movements were deliberately visible. When an Iranian-flagged cargo ship started shadowing the Lincoln through the Strait of Malacca, photographing its escorts and counting the planes on its deck, the Pentagon just let it happen. They wanted Tehran's military planners to get that intelligence. They wanted them to sit in a room, review the data, and do the math. They needed Iran to see the specific destroyers, to count the F-35s, and to fully understand the technological gap of the force sailing towards them. The goal wasn't to prepare for a secret attack. It was to make the cost of starting a war unthinkably, mathematically high. It's a strategy known as deterrence by denial, where you convince an adversary that their objective is simply impossible to achieve. And so the USS Abraham Lincoln and its escorts arrive on station. They're carrying more than just aircraft and missiles. They carry a very clear message of power and resolve. The only question that remains to be seen is whether that message is received as intended and successfully prevents a conflict, or if this show of force pushes an already volatile situation one step closer to the edge. This high-stakes chess match is a powerful reminder of how quickly global tensions can escalate and how the movement of a single fleet can send ripples across the entire world. If you found this analysis useful and you want more deep dives into global security, make sure you subscribe. Stay informed, stay curious, and thanks for being here.